There is a moment near the end of Forrest Gump that gets me every time, and I'm sure it's got you. Forrest finds out that he has a son, a boy he never knew about, and he looks at Jenny and asks the only question that matters to him: is he smart or is he like me? Think about what packs into those four words. Every kid who ever laughed at him, every person who ever looked through him, every time the world told him he wasn't enough, all of it landed in one question from a father who just wants his sons to have a better road than he did. Jenny tells him he's one of the smartest kids in his class, and Forrest Gump, the man who ran across America, played football for Alabama, survived Vietnam, and built a shrimping empire, almost starts to lose it. That moment is why this film lives in people's lives the way that it does. And there's a 2019 film that's been asking a version of that same question from a completely different angle, and almost nobody has connected the two. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump, first of all, where the hell have you been? Here's what you need to know. Forrest is a boy from Alabama with braces on his legs and a way of thinking that sets him apart from everybody around him. His mama, played by Sally Field, decides early on she is not going to let the world put a ceiling on her son. She talks to him differently. She expects more from him. And Forrest carries that with him the rest of his life without ever fully understanding how extraordinary that gift was. The moment that sets everything in motion is the day the braces come off. He starts running slowly at first, then faster. Then the metal flies away, and something in Forrest Gump is born that nobody, not the kids chasing him, not the coaches that recruited him, not the presidents who shake his hand, nobody can outrun. He's not trying to change the world. He's just trying to do the next thing in front of him with his whole heart. He ends up in Vietnam where he meets Bubba, a shrimp obsessed kid from Alabama who becomes his best friend. Now, watching Bubba die in his arms is one of the rawest moments in a film that's full of them, because Forrest doesn't process it the way that the movie usually shows grief. He just keeps his promise. He buys a shrimping boat. He names it after the love of his life. That's Forrest Gump. He keeps every promise. He loves completely. He never stops moving forward. And running through all of it is Jenny, the girl he loved from the first day of school, the wound that never fully healed. Their relationship in this emotional spine in this entire film. Two people whose lives keep intersecting, falling apart, and finding each other again until there's finally nowhere left to run but where they are together. They are each with each other. Forrest Gump is a film about what happens when somebody refuses to accept the ceiling that the world has put on them. Not through ambition, not through anger, just through showing up every single day with everything that they have. Now, there's a film almost nobody is connecting to it. The Peanut Butter Falcon came out in 2019, and it starts with a simple premise. Zach has Down syndrome. He lives in a care home in North Carolina because there's nowhere else for him to go. And every single night, he watches the same wrestling tape of his hero, a retired wrestler named Saltwater Redneck. Because Saltwater Redneck's wrestling school is one dream Zach has allowed himself to keep. One night, Zach escapes. He ends up falling in with Tyler, played by Shia LaBeouf, a small time fisherman running from his own grief and own mistakes. Tyler doesn't want a travel companion. He's got enough problems. But Zach is there, and Zach needs to get to wrestling school, and somehow Tyler just can't walk away. So, what follows is basically a modern Huckleberry Finn. Two outsiders traveling through the backwaters of North Carolina by foot, by raft, by whatever they can find. And what starts as Tyler's reluctantly helping Zach turns into something that neither one of them expected. The world has been telling Zach his whole life what he can't do, where he can't go, what's not allowed, what's not wanted. And Tyler, who has his own version of that story, starts to see something in Zach that reminds him of what it felt like to want something badly enough just to go get it. That's the film. A man with Down syndrome and a man running from his past on a river, finding in each other what the world never gave them. The performances are extraordinary. Zach Gotteskin, who actually has Down syndrome, carries this film with a joy and dignity that stays with you long after it's over. And LaBeouf delivers what might be the best work of his career. Forrest Gump asks a big question: what happens when someone the world underestimated just keeps going? The answer Forrest Gump gives is epic. He runs across America, he meets presidents, he changes the world without trying. The Peanut Butter Falcon asks a smaller question: what if someone the world underestimated just got to live one dream? And somehow the smaller question just hits as hard because Zach doesn't want to change the world. He just wants to get to that wrestling school. He just wants the one person to take his dreams seriously. He just wants to be seen. That's what connects these two films across 30 years in completely different worlds. Forrest never needed the world's permission. Zach is still fighting for it. And both of them, in their own completely different ways, got there. That's what the real unseen is built on. Not just hidden films, but the invisible thread connecting both stories that nobody is drawing a straight line between. Forrest Gump is everywhere. You've probably seen it 10 times. Watch it again after this and notice how differently it lands when you're thinking about Zach. The Peanut Butter Falcon is on Netflix. Watch it this weekend. Take somebody with you who needs to be reminded that dreams don't have expiration dates. If this is the kind of connection you came for, you're in the right place. The Unseen Real, the film's worth finding. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.